and right now I'm under the new project truck, and hopefully this will become a new daily. It's a diesel F250, and I'll explain a little bit more about it when I'm up above the truck, and I may actually make that separate video and put that out before this one. So anyway, got one side off, and you can see Ford has this really weird like little wing that comes off the frame, and that I guess I don't think you can take that out because I felt behind and there's no head for a nut or anything like that. So maybe you can, and maybe you can't. Not really sure. This one on the other side is really bad, actually. It looks like the rubber bushing inside is completely shot, and it's deteriorated to the point where it's basically just kind of loose in there. I haven't really felt it. I'm getting ready to do this side right now. These shocks are super bad. Here's the one I took out, and I took that out about last week. I'm in school right now, so I don't have very much time, so pretty much get like 1 day a week to work on this truck, so I gotta really make it count. So that's the shock I took out last week, and I pressed it down by hand like that, and it still doesn't come out. So yeah, they were toast. So I'm gonna try to get this shock out today. Hopefully the PB blaster's done its job and soaked in there well enough that I don't need to cut anything. I really can't cut the top bolt because once again that's a little like wing or something on the side of the frame. Actually, I wonder if you can take the wing off because it looks like it's either rivets or something. I don't know what that is right there, but I see something with a little head on 3 corners of that little wing thing, so you might actually be able to take that whole thing out. But I'm gonna reuse it since I don't know where to get one of those new. And I mean, it's not bad, it's not rusted out. I mean, there's no actual rot in the frame, so that's good. A lot of the stuff on here seems to be just covered in soot, and I'd suppose this is like this almost looks like the stuff at the racetrack, like limestone or something like that. So anyway, I know I need to get under here and wash the frame or something. That's going to be a big job trying to undercoat this frame, though. Because there's some parts for like right here where I can't really get into it, so I might just take a spray paint, just spray in there. Of course, I know I need to at least get under here and power wash it, or at least wire wheel under here. I mean, all in all, it's a very solid frame. I mean, it's about like my K20, and I just noticed the zip ties over there by the leaf spring. So I wonder what that is. Hopefully, it's just holding up wires or something. And I don't know what's going up with those loose hose clamps right over there by the second gas tank. Or second fuel tank, rather. So yeah, I'm gonna get started, and hopefully I'll probably put that shock on, and then I'll take the old shock off, and hopefully I'll be done with the backside, and I can start working on the front. Hello YouTube, I'm back. So see you in a bit. So here's the other side right here. It's not as rusted through. I mean, there's still some rust spots. I still had to cut it again. Oops. Yeah, still had to cut it again. This time I was able to snap the bolt, getting it out, because the entire rubber bushing is completely rotted out of here. There is just nothing in here. It was basically gone when I got the truck. So I kept hearing this clanking noise, and it's that took no effort whatsoever. Actually, and it's not coming back. So like I said, I kept hearing this clanking noise whenever I went over a bump. This is when I drove it to get it home. And so it's probably just that screw in there. That little wing I was telling you about. This comes off the frame for the shock. Just, you know, the screw just bouncing around in there. I'm actually really surprised it didn't bend or break the screw. That would have been an absolute travesty. So, anywho, I'm gonna put the new shock in. I got it in on the other side. There it is right there, the old or new one. And not sure if you can see it from this side. Maybe you can. Alright, I'm back.
Just barely see it.
So I also forgot that during the entire recording of this, I forgot to put on my UV lens. So if everything looks kind of weird compared to my other videos, that's the reason why. But I've got both rear shocks on, and I'm not trying to sound over dramatic or anything like that, but when I was backing it out of my garage and into the driveway, my K20 used to just slam down, and so did my Dodge. But this, I was backing out, and I was trying to go slow because the tire on the passenger side and the rear is really low. I think it's leaking, or has leaked out all the air, but I'm getting new tires anyway, so as long as I can get enough air into it to get me down to wherever I can get the tires from, I should be golden. But as I was backing out, I was trying to feel for the end of my driveway, because the end of my driveway has a lip and it drops down. So I was waiting, thinking that, okay, it's just going to slam down. It didn't slam down, but I definitely, when I finally got to it, it let me down over easy. So I'm not sure if it was just because I was going slower. I mean, I wasn't going that much slower, but I was going a good amount slower. And I'm sure once I get both, well, see, the front shakes a lot, but the rear doesn't shake that much, and of course I knock stuff over. But the rear doesn't shake that much when I shake it like that. So I can only assume that's good news. Oh, there are my extra shocks. I was like wondering where did the shocks go? So yeah, I'm gonna get the tearing the front end down. I'm probably gonna do that Thursday, depending on how I feel. I probably will end up getting to it Tuesday or Thursday, because I'll order my calipers, or I'm not even sure if it's well, I probably do need new calipers in the front anyway, since I went and broke the bleeder screw on one side. So there's a problem with my braking system where the brake pedal was hard when the truck was off, but then I turned the truck on and the brake pedal was soft again. It still went all the way to the floor, but I still had more resistance, so I don't know what that's about. I'm not sure if it's the booster or if it's the master cylinder. So I'm gonna have to figure that one out. Hopefully it's an easy fix. I wonder if it's just a fuse of my inside the truck somewhere. Let's hope it is. I'm not sure if I still have my speedometer, but I noticed that my tach stopped working after the truck warmed up and everything. So I don't know what that is. Hopefully it's something small, because I know it couldn't be idling at 200, because it would be super rough. So yeah, I think I'm just gonna look at all the fuses, make sure all my fuses are good, and that should be it. I need to figure out where the fuse panel is. I'm sure it's just on the driver's side somewhere. I think I actually saw it. I think it's under the steering wheel. The only thing bad about the steering wheel is not a tilt column, so it's a little tight in there, but that's alright. I need to lose some weight anyway. So I'm going to cut it off here, and
alrighty, so
I will continue Thursday. Now I get to work on the front shocks I'm gonna take a look at the tie rods today and see if they're bad. I ordered them anyway in case they were, so I didn't have to worry about them. So I'm hoping they're not. The truck did drive straight, but my K20 also drove straight even with bad tie rods and whatnot. I think it should be alright. I'm not sure, because it didn't really feel like the front end was that loose. But I'm going to jack it up and wiggle the tires before I take them off and see what's happening. And you can hear the neighbor's dog in the background. So hopefully they're good. That would save me work. That means all I have to do is just do the shocks and then bleed the ABS unit, because I still had that brake light on. So I think the ABS unit might be the problem. Hopefully I just have to bleed it and the light will go off and I'll have good brakes. So yeah, I'm going to get started on that. Alright, so I just spent probably about 45 minutes or so, and I got the front shock out. I'm not sure if you can see it that well. Oh, there it goes. Yeah, so no weird wings with bolts in them this time. And with plenty of PB blaster, I was able to get the shock out. Now this isn't as bad as rears. I assume it's been replaced, either replaced or newer or something. Well, if it was replaced, it would be newer. But anyway, it's still easily compressible by your hand. It will compress back out, and it's starting to rust through the body right there. So it's probably time for this thing to go anyway. Phew, that was a pain though. The tie rods, they don't look too bad. I wasn't able to get both wheels off the ground, so I can't really wiggle them that much. But I think I'm just going to go ahead and do them anyway, since they look so simple. That shouldn't be too hard. I'm going to start spraying PB Blaster on all those bolts, because I don't think Menards is open yet. So I'm going to wait to get new bolts for a little bit. So might as well be productive and start spraying those down and seeing if, and hopefully they'll break loose. Although I hate these castle nuts with the cotter pin, because the cotter pin always rests in place and then you gotta cut them or something. So I might pick up some metal cutting blades as well while I'm at Menards. So yeah, when I'm back I'll put this shock in and hopefully I can figure out a way to lift up the other wheel. And I wonder if I gotta lift up the truck to put the tie rods on. I don't think I'll have to. Or I think I'll just lift up one side like I did right now. But yeah, this is a little bit more simple now, which I'm glad for. Way better than the rear. It would be nice if I had this truck button up today, but I sort of doubt it. Anyway, I'll be back soon. Well, I'm sorry I forgot to record this, but I got the tie rods out, and then I didn't update you then, and then went ahead and already got the new ones in. Let's see. So, yeah, that's all good now. Although it's a little towed in on this side, so I might have to try and bring it out just a little bit more. I don't think I will. Maybe I'll want to put the tires on. I'll see. But when I bring it to where I'm getting tires from, either I'm not sure which shop I'm going to. I may go to Discount Tire, or no, it's not Discount Tire, it's NTB. Because I have some good all-terrains there. I think it was like $320 some odd for a set of 4. So I ain't too shabby. That should get me through winter until I get my lift kit, because my lift kit costs $700 it looks like. So yeah, I'm pretty much, I got other stuff to do right now. Got some homework for college, and gotta take care of a few things online, make sure I'm not missing anything. So yeah, I'll probably just kind of scoot all this stuff under the truck or off to the side where it's not anybody's way. And then it's embarrassing too, because if this had been 12 o'clock, I could have knocked this whole thing out. I only had one shock to do, because I only have one shock left. Hello YouTube, it's me, Horsepower. I am back working on the truck. I left off last week with putting the shocks in. I got the tie rods in, and now I need to do sort of a backyard alignment here, so I can at least have the wheels straight going down the road to when I get my actual alignment. And I'm going to take out the old bolts for the shocks and put in new ones, because the old ones I wasn't really comfortable with. One was kind of like tapered in the smooth part, and I'm not really comfortable with that at all. It's been kind of giving me anxiety all week. So, and this one doesn't have great thread engagement on the bottom. So I'm going to take out those bolts, and I got some metric bolts this time because Menards didn't have what I wanted in standard. When I asked if they would order any more in standard or when they would get any more, I got a very rude answer. So I just went over to the metric side and found 12mm bolts. Hopefully they work. I think they're just about comparable to what I have on there now. I hope so, at least. I should have really taken a shock over there so I know if it actually fit. But I'm going to go and get this unbuttoned, and I'm going to put those new bolts in, and hopefully they work. Too bad, I want to be able to set up my camera, but I have no light under here to really, so you can see what's going on here, and I'm going to be pretty much taking up the entire wheel well. So, yeah, I might figure out something for the other side. I'm not sure, though. Well, it is done. Got shocks on the front now. All four wheels have shocks now. I'm really happy, although not too happy about the calipers, but I guess it's just what you gotta do. If the bleeder screw is rusted shut, chances are they probably weren't doing their job anyway. And especially when I bled this caliper right here. At first it started spitting out some sort of orange fluid. I sprayed a lot of PB Blaster in there, and that is orange, but I did not spray enough for it to... I wish I had my bleeder bottle with me, but it filled up the bottom of the bleeder bottle. Like, not a lot, but I don't have any fluids around here to show you how much it filled up, but it was a surprising amount. And I know I didn't spray that much PB Blaster down into the bleeder screw, or into that little hole. So it is a shame. I'll look online to make sure, but I think I'm gonna have to order 2 calipers anyway. I'm not really sure what I can do now. I was going to build a speaker box for this truck, or 2 speaker boxes for this truck with this plywood, but I might wait until it's actually on the ground to do that. So I suppose I owe you an explanation of why the hell I'm working on this and not the K20. So let me set up the tripod, and I'll offer you guys an explanation. So eventually I decided that I wanted something that I could daily, because Dodge now it's having some sort of, I think it's a wheel bearing, I'm hoping it's a wheel bearing and not the engine, because it rattles constantly now. So I want to be able to work on that, and I needed a new daily. So I was looking at a diesel truck because I knew I'd get good gas mileage, probably up 12 or better. I'm not looking for 20. I don't think I've ever had a vehicle that got 20 miles per gallon. And so I knew that I could get that with a diesel. So I've been looking, and some diesel trucks would pop up, but they wanted way too much for them, had too many miles, too much mystery behind them, or they wouldn't trade with me. And I was putting away money to be able to sell my truck and then use the money and the money I saved up to buy a diesel truck. So I kept looking because I knew one day I'd find something close to my house, like with the K20. And sure enough, this 89 Ford F250 with the 7.3 IDI popped up. And it's non-turbo, by the way. So it popped up, and the guy was willing to trade with me. So I brought my K20 over, and he wanted $3,000 for this. And when I saw the truck, I still think it's a clean truck. It may not be a clean truck to everybody else, but to me, it was a lot cleaner than my K20. Because when my K20, when I first got it, had rust holes everywhere on the bed, and it was kind of a mess. But this thing, has a couple rust holes, and it's so clean underneath. So I knew I had to have it. So I asked the guy, would you be willing to trade with me? He said he'll think about it. He's probably about my age or a little bit younger, because he's also going to college too. And we kept talking over text, and finally said yes, I wanted to trade. I was so ecstatic. I was saying, yes, finally, I'm going to have a diesel truck. And, well, as things go, I started to second-guess myself. Because I put so much money and so much work into my K20. This is going to be a flat trade, so basically I made a $1,200 truck into a $3,000 truck. I'd say that's pretty good. But it was still so much... There's still so much money and so much sentimental value into it because there were so many blood, sweat, tears that had gone into that truck that I wasn't sure if I was really ready to let it go. But I kept thinking, and I asked around, and people said it was a trade up, and that I should go for it. So this thing in the trans leak, I fixed it, but it's still leaking a little bit, so I'm going to go under there and make sure all the pan bolts are tight. I've got the pan gasket and the pan filter in there. So I did all the shocks, did tie rods, needs tires. That'll be happening soon. I'm not going to put rims on it. I can't find any rims that I really like for a decent price because the stock rims are alright. I'd like to go with like an American racing style rim where it's like a solid rim and it's like a dish and it has those holes all around the side. I really like that style. But I can't find a set of those for a decent price. I found the rims for that K20 for like $100 for all four, so I couldn't beat that. So that's pretty much the story of how I got this truck and why I got it. I'm just looking for a new daily so I can work in the Dodge. Because I've got a lot of things planned for that Dodge truck. I'd like to get a lift for it. I'd like to figure out what that rattling noise is. If it's the engine, I don't know what I'm going to do. That's going to be a pain, because I don't know. Because I was thinking about rebuilding the 350 on the K20, but I have no experience in rebuilding an engine. I've actually I toyed around with the idea of trying to find like somebody's blown up like four-wheeler or something, and learning how to rebuild it, then sell it, and then buy another and rebuild it, sell it, and just so I can get the idea of how to rebuild an engine down pat. But so far I haven't found any four-wheelers or any blown-up four-wheelers for a reasonable price yet. It's sad because people around here, think that they have like the best of the best and want $300 for something that was literally sitting in tall grass, and they just parted it so you could see what it is and take a picture of it, which is absolutely ridiculous. You wouldn't... No, like, I'm very reasonable about the things I sell. Like, I price things reasonably, and I price things to sell. So I may have put more than $2,000 or $3,000 into that truck. Oh, here's my neighbor. So I may have put more than $2,000 or $3,000 into my K20, but I was willing to flat trade for $3,000 because I believe that this, or flat trade for a truck that was $3,000, because I believe this is worth much more than $3,000. So, and I'm really stoked about what I'm going to do with this thing. like I said, right now it's in daily mode, so I just got these Gabriel Guardian shocks because the Monroe load carrier shocks I got were super tough to install, and it was still a really stiff ride. I never bottomed out, but whenever I'd go over the little lip on my driveway, it literally felt like somebody was just dropping me on the ground. It was ridiculous. So, now I've told you about it, I guess we'll go around and explore a little bit, and I'll show you what's what with it. So, here's the inside. I mean, the interior is absolutely beautiful. This is why I told the kid I felt really bad that he really wanted to trade with me, because look at this door card. Look at this. The carpet's not crusty and falling out. It's perfect. You know, it's a little loose, but I don't know if that's just how it is or if there's it's missing screws. That's why it's loose. Well, got my answer. Power windows, power locks. I mean, just look at this interior. Just look at the door card. The seat leaves a lot to be desired, though. It's really faded and torn, but such as a work truck. But look at the carpet. The carpet is super nice. I wish I had a light in here to show you. And the pedals aren't worn or anything like that. I guess it was a fleet vehicle of some sort because it has that on there. I wish I could figure out the story behind this vehicle. And the fake wood trim around the dash, I fell in love with that. And just looking at everything is just so... I'm just amazed. It even has cruise control. I'm pretty much in hog heaven right now. And it's cracked at one place on the dash over there, where my Ford emblems are, or my F250 emblems are. It has a mismatched door card. I plan on getting a new one soon. I mean, the carpet's not worn through, and the kid says he doesn't know if it has 189,000 miles or 89,000 miles, because the guy he bought it from didn't know either. And I looked at some free VIN check online, and they couldn't tell me much about it, but I saw this vehicle has changed hands several different times. So, I kind of wonder why. Because, oh, well, another thing wrong with the interior is that, well, there's a cigarette burn hole here, and then it's falling down a little bit, but I don't really care about that. It just changed hands several different times. I don't know why. And I would think with a vehicle with so many miles that the thing is, I'm really confused too, because I'm just thinking about my truck. It has 114,000 miles on it now. That the lettering on the steering wheel is wearing off. My carpet's a mess, but that's because of all different places I've worked and how absolutely nasty they were. On the driver's side, the door is gray, but then this is kind of like starting to turn to a lighter gray, sort of almost white. And, you know, plastic bits are breaking off now of the interior. And like I said, I don't care how something looks, I care about how it runs. This thing could look like an utter disaster inside, but if it's a good running driving vehicle, I'll daily it. You know, I'll go and clean it up and try to make it look nice on the inside, but I'm not going to go all out. So, but I am really looking forward to all the videos and all the stories I'm going to have with this truck soon. And let's get a look on the outside. I'm only going to be able to show you probably one side because it's pretty tight in my garage right now. So we got ourselves a rust hole right here. Rockers, they're solid, not like my K20. Look at that. They're solid. The bed, no rust holes in the bed. There's one rust hole on the other side, but they patched that, and I'm going to have to grind it down and make it look flush. It has that Tommy gate I think I mentioned earlier in the video. It has a gouge in the bed. I'll fill that with Bondo. I mean, the paint is alright. The clear coat's flaking off in some places, and the roof has patina. But for the most part, it's really clean. I need to put the badges on. The front has that crack right here, and I'm not sure if there's supposed to be this much space or if there's supposed to be more of this plastic stuff that goes around. It looks like it dropped the bumper a little bit for some reason. The headlight's foggy, you know, the turn signal cracked, but that's alright. But there's nothing huge stopping me from driving this truck. That side isn't rusted out, and you might be able to see it from here. There's two rust holes in the bed. One that's been filled, and one that needs to be filled over there. And these tires are really bad. I don't think the tire's going to hold air anymore. I had to air it down to get it in here, and then it just went flat. So hopefully I can get it to hold air just long enough for me to get to a tire shop to get tires in this thing. So anyway, I decided that I would kind of split this video series up into parts, because I was planning on having this thing on the ground and being able to test it today, but with that brake caliper, the bleeder screw being closed like that, or being rusted in, I actually broke the tap I was using, because I actually bought one of those tap sets to try and see if I can turn it, and I could not get it to turn at all. So I'll be doing that, and maybe put some glow shift gauges in here, get a trans temp sensor in here, because I know that's important. I might upgrade the cooling and see if I can't put some more fans in the truck. Let's see. And then I know the Craig 909 is gonna like this just because it's a Ford. So, and it's funny too, because I mentioned in one of his videos that I got a Ford. I sold my Chevy and bought a Ford, and he bought a Chevy, so I thought that was just funny. But yeah, so I'm low on battery and low on memory card space, and I think this is pretty much done. I might start doing something else, but I doubt it, and if I do, it probably won't be recorded. So yeah, thank you for watching, and see you later.